Okay, so here we have what's currently known as an expression. Okay, it's not equal to anything. At the moment, x could literally be anything. We don't know what it is, but if we have it equal to a number, then x becomes something specific. So let's think of putting it equal to 0. Now, at the moment, it's difficult for us to tell what x is, because if we add 6 to both sides, we've still got an x squared and an x over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor the left-hand side. Okay. So we go back to how we know to do that. So we label a, which is 1, the number in front of the x squared. B is equal to 1 also, the number in front of the x. And then c is equal to negative 6. Okay, so now I need a number, in fact I need two numbers that multiply together to give a times c. So in this case a times c is negative 6. And those two numbers also need to add together to give me b, which in this case is 1. Okay, so I think of different things that might multiply together to give 6. Okay, and I'm thinking 2 and 3 are going to work. Okay. But then I notice it's not 6, it's negative 6, so one of them is going to need to be negative. And then I look down here and think if I've got positive 3 and negative 2, that gives me a difference of 1. So positive 3, negative 2. So the same numbers are going to sum to 1. Now the nice thing is about having a as 1 is that we can just put those numbers into our parentheses. So I can write here x minus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. Okay, and then we've got to bring down this equals 0 here. Okay, now how do we check this? Of course you can FOIL it to double check that your original equation is what you get. Okay, now what we can do now, because if I have any two numbers that multiply together to give 0, I know at least one of them must be 0. Okay, so for example, if I was to say over here, if I was to say a times b equals 0, there are two things that I could say. I could say either a is equal to 0, or the other option is that b is equal to 0. So I know that either this parentheses is equal to 0, or this parentheses is equal to 0. So I'm going to do those two things and see what happens. So I'm going to first of all put this one equal to 0. So x minus 2 is equal to 0, and I'm going to solve that. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides, add 2 to both sides, so I get x is equal to 2. One solution there. I need to do the same thing to this parentheses. So I say x plus 3 is equal to 0. This time I minus 3 from both sides, and I will get x is equal to negative 3. So there I have it. And there's one way that I can check, and that's very straightforward, is I can plug either of these into my original equation to see if it works.